how to properly warm up.
Properly warm up. I probably would be the worst one in this one myself. Probably the reason being laziness, maybe a little bit, and being in a rush all the time in between the clients to getting my sessions in. But in general, ideally, you would want to get your heart rate obviously elevated. Prevents risk of injuries 100%. You want to be ready to go in as fast as possible, otherwise you have to spend a lot of time. I would use some type of mobilization joint anyway. Let's say if I'm starting with upper body, even with the squat, I would start with any type of lunge movement to get joints moving out, get that blood pumped in the legs. And I usually lately use a lot of as well with the clients band pull aparts, getting resistance band, pulling it apart, getting my traps rear delts full. So even if I'm going front squat, that back is ready, not only legs. And in general, the best and easiest way to don't overcomplicate, if you're stuck with the time, would be doing exactly same exercise, unloaded, then lightly loaded, increase the load, because you're gonna be moving exactly the way. But yeah, if for the lower body, I would use definitely some type of band workout, not more than 3-4 minutes, monster walks, crab walks, glute bridges banded, get those glutes activated, and then you're ready to go squat, get 2-3 steps to get to your working weight, and then another 3-4 sets to bang them out.
All right, hello Andris.
Hey.
Welcome to the podcast again.
Thanks, I'm back again, yeah, like we talked not too long ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so, Andris is from Riga, Latvia. He's a personal trainer, fitness instructor. He's in Ireland now for 8 years, just to give him a little introduction. And so we will cover a lot of fitness type of topics, supplements, and we'll see where we're gonna go today with our conversation.
Yeah, last time we realized we kind of went back and forward, but like maybe went off the road with answers and with the topics. So this time we prepared few questions, and yeah, we'll try to cover them.
Cool. So, Andris, what do you think are the most underrated exercises?
Oh, you straight away like that on.
Yeah, let's go hot.
Underrated exercises. Let's say more so, I would say underrated as I would see them less and less somebody do. But years 10 ago, even 20, 30 in a older kind of bodybuilding, stylish, more of training, because those trends changes was like really everything changed from aerobics in those weird colorful suits, just dancing and moving kind of, probably, I don't know on what to get fit, but that was like that all was vague and fake. Obviously probably more stimulants than actual movement. And then change it to the bodybuilding. Everybody was working out like a bodybuilders, diets like bodybuilders, but none of the like regular persons was a bodybuilder. They was like, what's the fastest way to gain muscle? Train and eat like bodybuilder, because he's the biggest one. It's not sustainable for the normal person. It's not doable, and it's not something what they need. And then people would go in for 3 months, 6 months, half year, live like that, and then realizes like, I live for this, I can't, I don't have really life, I just want results, I want to enjoy this is not enjoyable. And people would be really, those who's in bodybuilding, they would be really strict, and if they're strict and disciplined, that's what determines your outcome, how dedicated you are, how disciplined you are, nutrition wise, your training wise, consistency, recovery, everything. But then again, it consumes all your life. Back to the trainings.
Yes.
Why I went through that. I don't see anymore a lot of, let's say, such a things as used as sissy squats so often.
Mm-hmm. So what are
more
those?
So I'd say it changed. It probably changed to leg extension at some point, more so, because it would be cover similar thing as a long head of your of your quads, what's crossing both joints. But probably on the CC squat you don't need an actual leg extension. It definitely doesn't hit the same, but still it gets that once your hip is extended forward, the knee travels forward, it extends both ways and then to contract. But to get in that position again, it's not just jumping in a machine. You have a good ability to fix your hips to keep them forward. Might be your lower back issue, you can't get in there, you're too heavy, my knees hurts. But you always can, even if you have seen somebody going on CC squats all the way down to the ground and back up, cool, they advanced. You can bring that level way up, put some yoga mats, not yoga blocks, start from there, or even a few plates, good block, start from there, pause, come back in. And another one probably you can play around for the long head in between reverse Nordic curls with the probably band where you lean up. Nordic curls would be where you hold someone, where's your heels fixed and you lean on a negative forward. And reverse would be where you sit on your feet down and you lean backwards.
Okay.
And then you try to stand up on your knees. But there would be CC squat, and that one would be really like kind of similar. However, on the reverse ones, Nordics, kind of, my clients would feel it way better than the CC squat. CC squat would feel more so closer to loading to the knee. The other one you would feel all length of the long head. That would be kind of one of those. I actually wrote down another one, dumbbell pullover. Have you done that lately?
I haven't done it for quite a while, but I used to do it quite a lot.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it, and I don't know any other exercise. What would you put really? I know we're still doing, even in chin-up form, supinated grip, lat pull down, and that would be similar position, but you get way more those elbows stretched over the head in that position. So you stretch your lat, your pec involved, like your triceps a little bit involved. Even so, for going in the stretch position, opening up the chest for mobility to hang in there a little bit. And then if you drop the hip, you stretch it even more. So somewhere in between, getting like as a optimally out mobility and lats involved, that dumbbell pullover still I consider is like one neglected kind of disappeared exercise. Don't see a lot of anymore. Used to be, again, in the bodybuilding era, I was seeing it like one of the, it was always in chest press, dumbbell pullover. Sometimes you see is like I'm giving to clients, they're struggling to get over that head, pulling the head aside with those things, but they feel great. I use it even for just for the stretch, literally to stretch somebody out posture and fix the back for the lats, and then to get that overhead where you, for the overhead press, if to somebody fix, you need to open up them. You want to be able to push that head arm behind the head mobility wise. If you're stuck in front, you would definitely want to use something as that stretch. I think it's like really beneficial. And even if you don't go heavy for the stretch, you just need some resistance what holds you down. Even if you fix yourself with a resistance band, if you don't have weight, that should work as well. And what else? Something good what I haven't been used for a while with the clients as well. I used it pre-COVID a lot of, to be honest. Clients used to cuss a little bit on it because it's a bit difficult. Turkish get up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's tough, it slows you down, they want to rush, do you want to jump up? It was like, no, there's point by point. By the way, shout out to Derek Byrne, aka Southside Kettlebell. He's a super knowledgeable coach. He's a manager in my Dublin gym, Fly Fit Macken Street, and yeah, he showed me that one. He fixed me whatever I have with the kettlebell stuff, always going to him. Okay. He's a deep dive into it, born to that, and grinding through. So yeah, he would always go in the smallest details. He finished all the level courses. He was in UK, and he's actually practicing it. It's not like oh yeah, I have this degree and on my paper. He's like living it. He trains like every day. You see him with all kettlebells, like all the heavy weird stuff what people couldn't do. It's like, but yeah, love to go with him. Always take some knowledge away. So thanks for that. And from him I took, yeah, definitely that's Turkish get up to strengthen basic stuff. You can literally, people would usually what do, especially guys, they would want to overload heavy. But he teached me to do it opposite. deload it
first.
fully. Literally, what he took, he put a protein shaker halfway with the water on your fist. So you would try to, instead of loading it up, you try to balance yourself out to slow you down, actually, to get that movement in point by point, to don't spill it. And once you don't spill it, then you can load it up, because you know you're moving throughout the points in direct line up. Other than that, you're all over the place, that hand is all over the place, and you're just moving again. Weight from point A to point B without an actual necessary outcome, what you're looking for out of it. So that's one of the, and it's hard to do it right, but it's so beneficial, and anybody can do it without anything at home. It's more so not a laziness, maybe, yeah, not knowing how to do it, losing interest into it, because it's hard. You have to repeat and get better at it, but point by point it was like it gets much better. I have another one, something what was developed by Olympic lifters, actually, to strengthen them triceps, because there wasn't such a thing as the chest press. There was overhead pressing originally, squatting, deadlifting, and chest press, I think, wasn't a thing. And once there was for overhead press, strengthening triceps, they went into the floor presses, and that's, I think, how started, if I'm not wrong, chest presses as bench presses, such a thing. And yeah, floor presses, I found when the clients wouldn't have a control over the weight, they would rush to drop it down, and then no stability. I would put them on the ground and let them feel that bounce back, that it's like, oh, I can't. You have
so
to
it
stop.
stops them at the floor level.
Yeah, you stop and start every time from zero.
Yeah.
Pull yourself together, boom. Really great for the triceps, for the control. And then after a while, I bring them back. They was like, oh, this is so easy now. I was like, yeah, a month we was drilling those floor presses, and now, like, look how you can control the same weight. They're way slower, more controlled on the way down, and they stronger at the weakest point at the bottom to get out of it. Because usually they would be, after half, they would be fine. Once they're down, it's hard to get out. They would move around just to get somehow out of it. Obviously, the load is too big in that case, but I found it really, really beneficial, the floor press. And I used it myself as well.
Yeah, so what you try to say is that you really like coaching people the correct technique first, before we just push them through a lot of tension and lots of stress through the body. And I realized the same myself, that the technique, not everybody is a long-term athlete. Not everybody is fully capable of doing correct technique and movement, especially if they're very sedentary. So I found that if you can help them through the basics and correct them and basically build a really strong base, they will be much better off in 3 weeks, 5 weeks from there, because they'll be much safer.
Yeah.
They will have understanding how they got there. And I think it makes them also kind of not excited, but kind of appreciating what they gain, because it's measurable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not, I wanted to touch on another one. What would be, I'm not going to mention even deadlift, because that's one of the most beneficials, let's say, for the human being, what to do, pull the weight from the ground, because it's in people using it, and I think more than ever now, more embracing it somehow and not scaring away, because there is different forms of it. We, thanks God, we have a now trap bar, what is a bit safer than a conventional. For some people, there is no need with the conventional. You can always regress with the kettlebells, with dumbbells. There's always way how to move in that pattern. But sled push is one of the, I think, undervalued things for the lower body.
Yeah.
It like gets obviously your core as well, but because you can load it all the way up, and with the sled push, you can play around. You can push it, you can pull it. But in general, if there's a push, it's a natural movement where you get in sprint position, strongest position, what you would create the force driving forward. Like neighbor asks you to push the car, if you never did it, you're gonna probably create fuck all force. You ain't gonna be much help. You're gonna be standing upright with the shoulder pushing. Once you be in that position, know how to place yourself, hip straight forward and drive through it, it's a different thing. And then it was like groin, hamstrings, calves, you name it. It all works together. Core. I'm drilling like each client have sled push. They love it or hate it. They have it there.
Yeah, in the gym where I used to work, we had a sled there, and I really liked it. I even involved the one exercise myself. So imagine you have maybe 10, 20 kilos on it, and you kind of crawling like a spider on the floor, and you do like a push-up crawl, and you pushing it forward.
Forward, yeah.
And then you walk, crawl into it, push it again.
Forward.
So it's like you are in a plank, and you get low, and then you
that should be a light sled probably, yeah?
Very light, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we have our base sled in Flyweight gym is 74 kgs, I think. So without weight.
You won't be able to do it.
Yeah, that's a big one, kind of. There is another gyms I've seen is on a half triangle, because we have 4 legs on triangle, so that's half the weight probably. Sometimes you would need it, because I had one petite client couldn't move it. And I was like, how? I was like, oh Jesus, yeah, you're 50 kgs, not even 48 kgs, I think so. So obviously that's 72, 74, so bit tough. Yeah, that's most from those kind of what I could imagine as I was driving, thinking about those exercises. Yeah, what I haven't seen for a while, but what I think still have a lot of place in the programming. What can be used. Probably there's a lot of like what you can find out, like a lot of benefits, but I think these ones is like what you can get a lot of out of them actually. Even the same pullover, you can benefit from mobilizing yourself and stretching that lat and getting pulled. So there is more than just an isolation in it. Exactly, that's why.
Yeah, I actually like the complex exercises. Yesterday, for example, I taught a HIIT class at David Lloyd. And so I combined a lot of sort of single-legged work and also showing the fact that even if you do biceps curl, you can still be standing on one leg. If you do standing triceps overhead extensions, you can still be doing one-legged standing. Reverse flies, you could still be able to stand on one leg.
Like in a split stance?
Whatever stance. You can be down in a lunge if you want. You can be in a single leg deadlift position.
Yeah.
And you can be, just lifting the leg, just normal standing upright. But I just wanted to show people that this is all options, and you're gonna evolve from your basic balance to something more sophisticated. And I just want to give them ideas that it doesn't have to be just black and white.
Yeah.
Adding a little bit of colors into that, understanding of the class or exercises really. So it's a very easy way to just add stabilization factor into it. And if you combine, let's say, two movements together. So you, let's say, hinge from the hip into single-legged deadlift, and then you go into row or reverse fly, and then you rise up and you keep standing on one leg. You have three things in the same time.
It's tough.
Because you can do single-legged deadlift, that's your first exercise. Then you can do your reverse fly or bent over row. That's your second exercise. And then you could be practicing your balance.
Yeah.
So you just already done them 3. So that's what I like, because there's quite a lot of benefits from stabilization.
Yeah.
Especially going through rehab. And that brings me to the other question, which is how to properly warm up.
Properly warm up. I probably would be the worst one in this one myself. Probably the reason being laziness, maybe a little bit, and being in a rush all the time in between the clients to getting my sessions in. But in general, ideally, you would want to get your heart rate obviously elevated. Prevents risk of injuries 100%. You want to be ready to go in as fast as possible, otherwise you have to spend a lot of time. I would use some type of mobilization joint anyway. Let's say if I'm starting with upper body, even with the squat, I would start with any type of lunge movement to get joints moving out, get that blood pumped in the legs. And I usually lately use a lot of as well with the clients band pull aparts, getting resistance band, pulling it apart, getting my traps rear delts full. So even if I'm going front squat, that back is ready, not only legs. And in general, the best and easiest way to don't overcomplicate, if you're stuck with the time, would be doing exactly same exercise, unloaded, then lightly loaded, increase the load, because you're going to be moving exactly the way. But yeah, if for the lower body, I would use definitely some type of band workout, not more than 3-4 minutes, monster walks, crab walks, glute bridges banded, get those glutes activated, and then you're ready to go squat, get 2-3 steps to get to your working weight, and then another 3-4 sets to bang them out.
Especially if somebody has, let's say, sore lower back. Those hip bridges and lunges and gentle squats, bodyweight squats, and then start loading it gradually. I find that really beneficial. Yeah,
because like if your glute's not gonna do the work, it's gonna load your lower back. And then again, you gain a little bit blood flow in the glutes, get bloods to keep running through the blood. If you
to warm up the whole area.
Yeah, in general, if you you elevate your heart rate, you just get warming up. That pain might go away only because as much as you increase blood flow. Some people I know who goes, that's more so old school, like people would put heating creams on the certain areas where need to increase extra blood flow. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that, but I've seen people doing that. It makes kind of, if you break it down, it might make sense. Is it really beneficial? I don't know.
Help circulation.
Yeah,
topically.
Maybe if you need really I've never seen a lot of it. Seen some people doing that. Wouldn't suggest go for someone.
You know what? Placebo can be good if somebody likes doing something.
Yeah, they would put
likely not dangerous.
Mental cream or something. Let's say, oh, my elbow hurts, so they would put it up, so increasing blood flow. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Will that help with something? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
As much as heat it up and get its pain sensation away, it could be so.
Yeah, I think the most important is really just to activate your muscles. I like the analogy of driving a car. So you're going for a workout, think about your car has cold engine and you go gear 1 from neutral. And so you go through the gears 1, 2, 3, whatever, how many gears you want to set. But that way you kind of just gradually loading up the tissue. So not only the muscles, but tendons and ligaments as well, your joint. So everything just starts to flow and you kind of getting your body accustomed. I even find that sometimes when I only demonstrate exercises for my clients, and maybe I have sore legs from day before for my classes or my workout, and then I'm just showing them like a couple of repetitions, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good at all. And it makes a huge difference when you have, like, say 10 minutes warm up, you're fully activated, you're breathing different way. I actually find it more enjoyable to train when you're fully activated. Yeah,
you feel you're ready to go. Because I've seen a lot of newbies would be going in and they would start, it was like, oh, what's my working or what I can lift? It was like 80 kgs, gonna bench press now it, because that's what I lift like I did last time. They're going in and trying to do it straight away. Your central nerve system is not activated. Your best case gonna get out of few reps and gas out. Your engine is not ready. Motor engine literally, the whole body. If you have elevated your heart rate, if you're coming in, do empty bar, loaded with 40, 60, and then go for 80. Yeah, most likely you're gonna hit all those 3-4 sets, next ones, and gonna get those reps in. Central nerve system, every time as you increase the load, gives the signal, obviously. Hey, that fucker is doing something crazy. We rather better get a lot of energy activated, get mitochondria working, because he might be doing something even more crazier. There's some limit to that, but that's how the body prepares it. So it's not like going raw, deadlifting 200 straight away. It's like some people might do that. It was like, that's probably they can deadlift way more. But like I know I would go raw. It's like I probably would pull something. Yeah. I would need to go slow, and then you go. It's just like fifth, fourth set, and you're like, yeah, it's like it's heavy, but it moves. Yeah. That's all.
Actually, I knew a guy. I haven't seen him for years now. His name is Tommy. From Germany, big guy, bald head, like tall, muscular. He's like, he just warms up like with 130 kilo bench press, and then he goes like 180. Yeah. And you kind of see him going into the gym, and in 20 minutes he's leaving. He literally doesn't warm up. He just goes like these very heavy weights, couple of sets, and he's out.
Yeah. Short and intense.
He does like short, like almost like 5 times a week. He goes for 20 minutes, very heavy workout, no warm-up. He said, I'm not getting any injuries. He's maybe built for that, maybe that works for him, but he does it for decades.
Yeah, that would be really individual, I'd say. So if you break it down in general, but the general population, I don't think that would be the thing and suggestion to do.
I don't recommend. I personally as well, when I just rush my warm up and just jump into it, like let's say dips and pull-ups,
Yeah.
it's actually quite a lot of weight. Like if I'm 83, 84 kilos,
Jesus, of course, that's a workout.
you actually load the tendons, you know. Yeah, you can say like, oh, I'm combat ready, I was born ready, blah, 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 all the ego stuff guys saying. But on the other hand, I was getting injuries. I was actually getting aches and pains from, you know, like loading the tendons with so much tension that they actually eventually inflamed.
How would that happen?
I think it was that kind of high level of motivation where I was just a bit greedy and I wanted to get more and get more and get more. And you just, every session you're increasing like 10, 15 kilos on the load. So, you know, like within, let's say, the progression rate is maybe 3 times faster than what it sort of healthily should be.
Yeah, I got you.
So, healthily, maybe it's not a good word for it, but, you know, like anytime I rush it, I pay for it.
Yeah, I'm usually saying myself, not everything what I can lift, I should lift because it bites me back always. I would feel good, I would feel ready, I would caffeinate myself. And I'm like, just gonna move that weight, and it moves. I'm saying, let me throw a little bit on, let me throw a little bit on, let me throw a little bit on. No, as the session finishes, feel like I've been hit by the bus or truck. And the next few days, I'm like, I'm moving less, I'm less active, I'm wrecked. So I rather pull it back a bit and go 80%, 70, and then repeat that session in 2 days or 3. Or otherwise, it was like last time when I went, it's so heavy, it was like I wasn't able to train for another 4 days at all. And then it's like once you break down the volume throughout the week, where you are, you know where you can't catch up after.
Yeah, like once you get the injury, like the whole discomfort and the whole slowdown in your progress, maybe a couple of weeks of treating the injury, and especially if you're busy and or lazy to do anything about it, the injuries like that don't go away until you start doing something about it. I had inflamed my knee tendon from too much running and even cycling, and then it was with me for 10 years.
Jesus.
For 10 years I had trouble with my knee, and eventually I learned and I've got into foam rolling and mobility work.
Yeah.
And within a couple of weeks,
What was tight quads and was giving
very tight
tendons?
quads, the tendon that goes over the patella, so
Yeah.
just kind of like above the knee,
Yeah.
that tendon was inflamed very heavily. And like the fact was I was doing 13 classes a week. In my free time I was cycling as well, and if you compare the ratio of work versus maintenance and release techniques, I was doing very little for healing it. And then actually I had one trainer on, was it RPM? I think it was RPM course, and I asked this trainer, she was from UK, and she's like, you just need to do more of it. More foam rolling, more stretching. And you know what? She was right. I wasn't doing enough. Even though I was doing, it wasn't enough. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't bringing the result. It was more to tick the box, probably.
Yeah, so like if you spend 15 hours or 20 hours on a bike, you're a cyclist, and you spend 2 minutes combined, 5 minutes combined on your knee releases, like stretches.
Yeah.
You know those hours versus minutes?
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
So, what question do you have?
What question? What you was doing Saturday, Sunday on your weekend? Was you working or you was somewhere out exploring nature or?
Was actually
yourself?
recording a podcast, and
With who?
With Stephen Sullivan, and we talk biology and all that stuff. COVID again, because a lot of people don't really understand, and they refuse vaccines. Although there's most evidence is that that's the safest way to protect yourself from basically dying during the pandemic. And we were talking how, you know, how the medicines are approved. People think like, oh, it wasn't researched enough, but most people don't really know how much work goes into approving stuff.
Yeah.
And they make these decisions. So yeah, we were talking, I'm just gonna edit that. But yeah, what about you, man?
I was doing strength and conditioning course and Image Fitness. Shout out to the Image Fitness and Mark. Yeah, they're a great team. Actually, I graduated my PT course there. Got my qualification.
So what did you learn? Tell us, please.
Oh, we started from body readings, like really good ways how to read an athlete, tightnesses, imbalances, and how to create a program considering that on an individual basis. You wouldn't probably use that really with a regular day-to-day gym goer person. You might though, but you don't have to fix everything what's not broken unless they have to perform on the highest level, you know what I mean? And there's still a lot of takeaways what I can take away, even if I not gonna work with an athletes, how to spot doing somebody where they how to spot the difference in between, are they lacking power or strength, where they goes, and then like all the imbalances where they have to get the glutes fixed, hamstring tightnesses, back issues, stances, kind of a lot of information, but like really good. Like first day was a lot of that, and second day we got through a lot of testings done, what is testing done to measure, do all the measurements accordingly to the sport specifics. They quite like not really complex, but like if you dive in really into field sports and athletics, like those are basic measurements what you take from, and then you know where to send athlete, what he's capable, not really just more so for, and are they capable, are you able to, you probably are able to, you can see even, are you able to improve them, you can make them by a little bit better, or somebody have potential to be fixed and get more, even though it might work different sometimes. I think in life it's like somebody have crazy motivation, they just bang it through and they get things done, even if they're not so gifted athletically.
Well, it's all about progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to get eventually somebody from a couch to, you know, walk, then, you know, you can get them jog, then you can get them doing some basic core exercises, basic leg movements.
Yeah.
And you know, like whoever's listening and it's not really into exercise, just look at all the benefits of exercise, health benefits, mental, emotional benefits from exercise. You know, it's just no brainer. You know, like sometimes I don't feel like to exercise.
Yeah, well, one thing for sure for it, you have to be in it to win it. Like you have to actually do it. So with everything is like that, and people will be like, yeah, it would be great something, and it's ain't gonna be pretty, ain't gonna be cool, it ain't gonna be easy. You're gonna sweat, and it will feel like an absolute shit probably because your body is not ready. The balance is not there. For you might seem fine, and trainer sees you doing and you doing it absolutely nowhere close to get any benefit from it. But once you keep putting effort in and not hurting yourself, fine. Like you ain't gonna fix everything with YouTube videos. Get a professional involved, learn, approach it as a learn, so it doesn't seem for you as a hiring someone as a wasting money rather than investment in yourself. I had a really great client 2 years ago. Person was in different place, a little bit, I wouldn't say obese, but nowhere close to any type of shape, being fit. 2 years after, you're an athlete.
Life-changing.
Yeah, and I asked it, I was like, what about that money? Because you've been spending like a lot of money investing that. Would you want to get that money and buy something for it? Like, because you might wouldn't get a mortgage for that money, but like you wouldn't reinvest it. Where would you put it? Like, would never change it.
Yeah. Would you trade it for the money and lose it?
Yeah. And it was like, what you would do is like, I probably would spend on clothes covering my body, with the clothes, new clothes, making myself happy, covering it to look better, to make myself feel better. But you go home, you know the truth. Like, you're not getting younger, you're not getting better, you're not putting in the work, you're finding all the excuses, all of them. You know what I mean? It was like, pointing at someone is like, oh yeah, you are obsessed, you are a fitness freak. Someone else is like, then looking on the girls on the street, was like, she have great genetics probably, she have no children. And it's absolutely opposite. She have shit genetics, she have children, and she just, nobody sees those 5 a.m. mornings where the people is putting in the work, because until other people sleeping and then waking up at 8, I was like, this is our day. I was like, 8 o'clock early morning. It was like, no, sleep less, work more. It's like, you're gonna change with the time, you will have to put effort. And some people want to enjoy life more. go ahead, do it, but don't expect much out of it. And some people's happy with that, and once they're happy, I'm like, go for it.
Yeah, I personally, I really want to be listening to my clients, what they want.
Yeah.
I don't force someone to be, I don't know, 10% body fat. Or 15% body fat for ladies, or 20. I don't force them with my expectations what they should be like.
Yeah.
They come to me, they want to train for whatever reasons, feel good or better, or manage the weight, lose weight, but I don't force them to set the pace. I can inspire them, I can talk them, I can educate them, but it is really every one of them to decide for themselves. And I'm open if they tell me, Oto, I want to up the game.
Yeah.
And some people, they like just training, but don't, not dying in a training every session. They want to do it for years, and someone who is in 60s, and again, as I said, a lot of clients are a bit older, in average.
Yeah.
So
the goals would be different.
The goals are really the longevity and health and feel good.
Yep.
It's not about having six packs, not at all, not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. For them, actually being pain-free in the back, their knees, the shoulders.
Yep.
And so they can play golf, play tennis, and I can see huge difference in people. Let's say if I see families and let's say wife exercises and then husband doesn't, and 2 years later, one is improving in so many levels, getting fitter and stronger.
Yep.
The other one is barely, shoelacing.
Yeah. I had a client, shout out to Oksana Yakovleva. We trained together. She came to me, if I'm not wrong, she hit the 50-year age mark, and she said it clicked. It clicked as well. She said I couldn't tie my shoes anymore. And she came, is like, I know it's expensive, I heard about you, talked, and I want to train with you. I was like, fine, we went through everything. So basically she started that she can't bend forward, can't to get her shoes tied, so can't put them on normally. Obesity, overweight, pain, you name it. We started from literally learning how to stand up from the chair properly, what she couldn't do without the help of hands pushing herself up. Once was done, she was deadlifting 80 kgs for 3 reps with the trap bar.
Wow.
80 kgs. And she was coming for the sessions saying, I need my medicine to stop my pain from the back go away. Whenever she was going out, she feeling great. She was on the painkillers for the back. Obviously there was hip issues. We fixed the imbalances. One leg is shorter, and as much as we could, but she got so much stronger. She lost, if I'm wrong, 20 kgs, 30 centimeters on the waist. I'll put the soon post. I'm being a bit lazy up for her, chatted with her, so she will be back with the training as well with all the holidays and saving up the money. But she been like one of the inspirations for me as like where you would want to once you're ready to go, and once you actually pay attention to your health. So once you see the person changing your life for real, it's not about six-pack, yeah, losing some weight, but that wasn't her priority. First thing was actually to move normally. She would avoid to go to the work, like using bus, because back hurts and hip gets tight. I was like, once we fixed that, all she did is like now walk it to the work. She added her steps daily, just walking there. It's extra 30 minutes there and back. So she don't have to do extra steps as a going for an exercise. She just goes to the work and comes back and saves money on going on a bus. Small things like that changes around. She's off the painkillers. She was actually on the injections for the back for years, and she said she couldn't get rid of the pain, but all what it was overloaded lower back.
So only masking the problems, all these cortisol injections, is just maybe if somebody has really inflamed certain parts of the body, it helped them to start doing something. Yeah, I said
I have to look for a root cause out of it, not going to the GP and they give you a pill because they're not, I don't know whether they're not interested, but they're not sport specific. They're not there to really to sort you out, like it's take off the like sort the issue at the moment, just quick there and now, but like it's not a thing. And yeah, absolutely, you can fix yourself big time. So she achieved like really great results. And at the same time, she had the friends who was doing heat classes, and she was welcomed in them as well. And she said, no, first thing, it doesn't look like something to do. And I spoke to my trainer. He said, because that's not a thing. And those other persons ended up with losing faster weight with cucumber diet or something like that almost. And doing the heat classes via Zoom, they didn't gain no knowledge of how to eat. They didn't gain no knowledge how to move. They was just sweating. So all those sweat classes, everyone who is doing them, please better learn them how to move rather how to sweat. You know what I mean? That random movement just for sweat is like exercise wasn't kind of made for that. And that's what usually bothers me when people comes in for the class. How many calories I burned? You did burn.
Who cares?
Fuck all, like
not that
250
much.
to 350. It's nothing.
Not too much.
You're not there for that. Like I'm always saying them, it's like you're here to build muscle and get strong. It's like, oh, I don't want to get too bulky. Happening like that.
Myths everywhere.
Yeah, building muscles. That's what you call get toned.
Yeah.
Because you lose a little bit fat, that flubber goes away. You grow a bit of muscle. There's some type of shape and form of that body, and that's how it looks toned. Not those 40-50 reps to burn out and tone up. All you do is energy expenditure. Repeat the movement. You can
but
do
there's
jumping
some
jacks.
benefits of that as well. I would argue that there's no one way to the top of the mountain, you know. Like,
oh no, absolutely not.
It's sometimes it's just for someone to do first what they enjoy. So I'm a big believer that even spin class could be good for someone if they don't like lifting weights, because you can't really force everyone to do exactly the same thing. And that's where the education come into place. And I have seen a bunch of people who being kind of ladies gym, and I could see a lady in her 60s, 65 maybe, Jacinta, and she used to push so much weight. I was looking at her weights, and it was like kind of lonely place. She was there on her own, and I was looking like she was almost maxing out these ladies gym weights on the machines. I'm like, you know, like you should progress either to the gym and do proper free weights or try classes. Since then, she loved body pump. She loved the body balance classes. And she was fully hooked on, there was social aspect to it as well. Yeah. So instead of just sit down and on your own pumping those heavy weights, she was good, very strong. But now she was learning movement. Yeah. Now she had the experience of exercise to music. And all of her sort of like peers from her age groups, from the local area where she lived, she had a chance to meet those people. So I think for me that was a success, that I approached the person in the right time and being able to convert them to try more. Yeah. So yeah, that's what makes me happy as well, to be able to help people to get more out of it. Yeah.
Because there's no one fix for everything. As I said, like I think we spoke about that last time. That's like, it don't have to be gym. It can be walk, it can be hike.
Yeah, hikes.
And if you were a man, definitely, men or women, I think just like you should learn some type of something. I know I was like, hey, Jim, something, get TRX straps. There is undeniable benefits of physical movement with the resistance. So do something, basic body weight, start with the body weight. If you don't do anything else, kettlebell would be amazing to learn something. It's quite difficult, but like, you have nowhere to rush. All you need is to start and stick to it. If you don't like anything of it and to do at home, cool. Then go to the classes, because you will be involved. Socially, everyone is quite beginner, let's say. Everybody know how to move, so you're on the same level. You're all starting, and then it was like grows out those who's actually wanna change. It's same as everybody comes as caterpillars, and none of them, not all of them flies as way as the butterflies, but some of them does. They just trains, and then at some point they're like, cool, I'm done here. I'm like, and you see them and you say them, it's like, now enough with the classes, slow it down, load it up. Rather than hitting 5 classes in a week, let's change it. Still come 3 times, do those classes if you really enjoy them. Probably because of the social aspect, but I'll give you a few exercises. Go practice them in front of mirror, and don't be afraid to load them up. And then they comes back, increases protein, and there's progresses with the time, and then you see it's like, okay, there is actually physical change for results. Because with classes, you have to understand you're not going to grow muscle actually visually really visible, because the class is not made for so big resistance. It's quite fast paced, and you're gonna get fitter, but you don't look for those big changes unless you put yourself in work with the diet and another resistance sessions.
I would actually like to add into this one because, you know, for a while I kind of stopped doing gym and I was doing a lot of body pumps, CX Works classes from all the Les Mills stuff that I was teaching, and I found that I was still maintaining my muscle mass, because even with the higher repetition I will still be able to tone my muscles and stay lean, blah blah blah, but my strength was gone. So let's say my
strength is first what's going away.
So you have to understand that, you know, like you cannot trade it like apples for apples. That's different type of training, different type of zone. And so, you know, depends on your goals, but depends maybe on your needs too. But there's always trade-off. If you do just one like mono focus, you focus on one type of exercise, let's say spinning, you will have strong legs, but in a high repetitions, light loads. So you won't be able to lift, let's say, heavier squats. If you do only just heavy lifting in the gym, you're not gonna develop your cardiovascular fitness. So
you're not gonna last spinning.
So it depends on really needs, but I like to mix it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Balance. It's called balance.
do some high repetitions class, do some gym sessions, balance it into the weekly schedule that you have a little bit of everything. I'm a big promoter of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I felt especially a huge difference when I was hiking with my friend Sean, and I did the same hike in Marne Mountains with him prior to COVID lockdowns, literally just that summer, 2 years ago exactly. And, I was fine to hike for 8.5 hours. 7.5 hours is actually what it took us. But now during the COVID, and I didn't train as much, and I did very basic stuff in the park with my band, bare minimum. I was just maintaining myself. I went for the same hike. I was failing big time. We did it in 8.5 hours. We had to shorten it. I was failing. I was almost tripping over my legs, how exhausted I was.
Jeez,
And it was a shock for me because I never had that feeling for the last 9-10 years because I was doing so much. And it was a really shocking revelation to me to realize how much I lost. So even those high repetition body pump classes have a huge benefit if you want to hike or run for like a marathon, for example, some people do. So then always think about what you might get out of it.
And those endurance and conditioning.
It's not always about building muscles,
Oh no, absolutely not.
If you're a hiker, you would appreciate being able to hike for 7 hours.
Oh yes.
Increase your pace and do it safely without falling on your face.
And I love hiking.
We both do love it. Yeah. We should organize a hike together.
Oh, we will definitely. And talking about hikes, I think one of the most undervalued fat loss, not exercises, but activities. You have a slight incline all the time, slight heart rate. Well, I wouldn't say so. Slight could be a bit higher, heart rate elevated. You choose your pace, but it's all the time that push and resistance. And it's all the time aerobic, so you slowly push it, and it's extended. And you keep breathing, so you keep sweating, fat oxidation, keep that level, and you just keep going. And it's a little bit loaded if you have backpack, something, fresh air, best from both worlds.
Absolutely, I love it. I even bought such a little bag that it's designed to be on your belt. Like a little pouch for phone, for my mobile phone, for my car keys if I need to, or a few snacks. And I recently just started to just clip it on my backpack here on the chest. And the phone would be there playing some audiobook, or if I download something on YouTube for later, for offline, because usually when I go out, I want to turn off my phone offline. Not receiving call or messages, but I can still listen, and it's just, I don't have to block my ears with the headphones and kind of not hearing, the nature surroundings, the nature sounds. And you can still learn something while you're listening, while be still connected there and there, so it's not as invasive like having headphones. I find it pretty cool. especially if you're on 5-hour hike.
Yeah.
You know, turn on Joe Rogan for 3 hours.
Yeah, you kind of go and think through it, through your life and stuff, kind of drawing parallels. I've been doing that as well a lot of, I would usually, to get a headspace, would get those hikes. I don't mind absolutely going on my own for hours and hours, because I don't have to interact with nobody, don't have to entertain nobody really, like just go in with my thoughts, think through why I am where I am, why I'm not there where I want to be, and what steps I could take. And then it's like, again, I feel it's kind of, once I'm getting the routine of those hikes, was pre-COVID, it was like pretty good working for me. I was more focused, more happier daily. I felt more invested and determined to my work, what I do. I felt more satisfied with the work with the clients. I've had more energy. Even clients felt that always, like, oh, how you go on such a good buzz and everything. I was like, well, first thing, it looks like only because you're in the sessions giving your all that energy, and then you drain lunchtime. But yeah, it definitely was helping. It was a good part of routine. It was like once a week hike on a regular, and I wouldn't even think about it. It was like, I was sometimes just leave. I would leave 5-6 o'clock in the morning. I'm back by 1 o'clock. On the way back, would jump in 40 foot for a quick swim. Once the sea is proper temperature, not like now that you too warm.
Too warm.
But yeah,
we mentioned last time your endeavor into coldness, but we don't have to say the same story again. But Andris likes to go into freezing cold sea, and also he has the freezing chest freezer, which is freezing chest full of water.
Ice bath.
But actually, to be honest, I was recently in sauna at David Lloyd, and I could hear conversations, and not just first time, young people. And this is what I actually like about this club. There's a much younger clientele, so teenagers and guys in 20s, and like people listen to podcasts. They were talking about Dr. Rhonda Patrick, what was on Joe Rogan's show. People follow that,
savage sauna,
and they were talking about the sauna benefits and cold showers. So I could hear like a couple of independent conversations between young guys talking about how good it is to keep doing saunas. And they were stopwatching themselves to be half an hour in the sauna. Quite hardcore, half an hour. It was pretty hot, Like 20 to 30 minutes is, the hero dose. Yeah,
it's nice to like 15 minutes. Ideally, if you have a cold plunge, go out, boom, back in, split it in two sessions. I was actually, my first goal was I got a ice bath, and then before I moved apartments, I wanted to install the infrared sauna in my second toilet kind of bathroom because it was small enough. It still is, like, but I moved and it's a bit different now. It's crazy with that moving. I had a back balcony with terrace, like I built a little roof over there because then the territory is usable, the terrace during the winter time, because there's a lot of rain. And now the terrace is bigger when I moved, and I haven't started. I'm like, whenever I invest something in it, it's like, it's not my place, I'm gonna build it. Then in case I haven't moved at some point, it's such a
hassle. I
don't know how much it's gonna be. It could be gone at any point, and I'm kind of procrastinating yet with that. But otherwise, I would build it. Ice baths, would build up the roof, put the pull-up bar still there, and probably put some heater, what is flame throwing, that heater outside that I can sit and just watch it there. And then little yellowish lights to enjoy the view, kind of something what is blocking as well, wind, and that's it. So I prefer even eat lunchtime, even at dinner outside. But once it's rain, it's like not enjoyable. You just sit inside. Way more. Fresh air in general is like always a good idea for the morning walk, to wake up, to clear the head, and evening the same. I was yesterday evening, started to drizzle, rain. I was like, I'm gonna go for the walk because I didn't hit nowhere close to my steps what I would need. And I didn't go. I just went out on the terrace 5 minutes, just fresh air, sit out and back in. That's what's up. Let's go in with the creatine.
So what would be the benefits of creatine?
What would be not? I'd rather say, I think anyone, I'm not talking about only gym goer, would benefit from consuming creatine, considering it's in a way in red meat and being consumed and absorbed, but not enough. And for the muscle building, yeah, don't get me wrong, you don't expect gains, as it's said, something huge, but strength-wise and the most what is not anabolic thing and what actually works, it's creatine. It gets intercellular, holds the water intercellularly into the muscle, and that's what you want. So there been, I think so, a lot of misunderstandings, and I'm being on that path myself. Before competitions years ago, some 7 years ago, I was doing, and it was like, obviously I would cut out the creatine because it holds the water.
Yeah.
Some girls would come to me, it's like, oh yeah, but I get it watery. I was like, maybe that water was from your drinks and pizza last night, not not creatine. It was like, oh no, but I start taking it. Some people who would have adverse reaction with the stomach wouldn't take it, wouldn't digest it, would get bloated. That's a different story. Or if you have some kidney issues, I wouldn't suggest to those people. But in general, you just have to drink more water to flush it out. But yeah, absolutely. And as it's been proven, cognitive function as well improved. But again,
heard of it.
More water in the cells, more connections working. Again, obviously, if the sodium is in the right level, if you don't deprive yourself.
Yeah, so basically what they say is to support the adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is the energy beyond the glucose. So it actually powers the brain and also it powers the muscles. And that's the explosive power, let's say up to 4-8 seconds. I'm not sure exactly the numbers.
Yeah, around extra 3 seconds you get.
Yeah.
3-4 seconds.
Of high explosive power with the ATP.
Yeah, ATP would last, what, 9-ish seconds, I think?
I think they were saying around 8, if I remember it correctly.
Yeah, from plus minus, let's say, really roughly up to 10 seconds. And you get that another 3-second blast, what you can get out, whether you're running or lifting something, that would probably generate another rep or better quality reps because you not gas out so fast. But you definitely want that water in the muscles because it's a healthier environment. Dry muscle ain't gonna do much, like all the nutrients, everything getting from where? From it.
Yeah, so the main benefit will be that extra strength, extra sprint, extra set, let's say, so you last a little bit longer. Side effects, very little.
Some people would say get bloated. Those wouldn't usually use it. Some would who have kidney problems, obviously it's quite tough on that, so you have to drink more water, so getting flushed out. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing what would cause any issues with it. Absolutely, and it's well researched and safe to use.
Yeah, to be honest, I started to take creatine when I was maybe 15, 16 years old, something like that. Me and my brother, we were both into gym, so we played football and for many years, maybe 10 years, and then I was just kind of getting bored of it and I started to do the gym. I had already dumbbells since I was 12, but really got into gym when I was first time in high school. We had a gym there and it was like 10 guys from a class, so we would just go to the gym and do crazy stuff like do
everything that you can.
Young stupid people going to the gym. I remember a schoolmate of mine, he was trying to lift something overhead, like shoulder press with like 30 kilos. He went down and he stumbled and he just dropped it behind himself.
Thanks God there was no one.
Yeah, so we were stupid, I can tell you that. But I remember taking creatine, we were taking B vitamins, we were taking yeast extracts. We were just reading those magazines and we were trying to just get a little bigger. A lot of us, we were not obese, we were not overweight. Everybody there in my schoolmate, except maybe one guy, we were fairly skinny lean. So we would be looking for ways of bulking up. Yeah,
same. I was skinny. I'm still kind of consider I'm kind of the skinny type of.
Yeah, you look very skinny.
Yeah, I just got stuck in my head. Whenever I undereat, I'm dropping the weight. So I would have tendency not picking enough calories. So probably I was eating alcohol as well as a kid as well. And once I started to train, I wouldn't call it now training what I was doing then. But decided to bulk, I read some Russian magazine. That's all the literature what I had available.
Yeah.
And I think it was some prisoners bulking program. So it was a liter of beer, 2 raw eggs, salt, and you do that before you hit the gym. So me, skinny little lad, chugged that down. Oh, those raw eggs and that beer. I'm not beer drinker to get that 1 liter into me. I was pissed. I realized that after second time that I didn't do anything there, because I was like around the gym like a dizzy fly. Didn't do anything. I was like, I'm just getting drunk. This shit ain't gonna work. I was like, for what? I was mad, but like I tried it 2 times. I went 2 days and I was like, ain't happening. I bought the big bottles of the beers.
Maybe you should taper in a little bit. By the way, I know someone from Crimea in Simferopol, a friend of mine, Andris, and he told me, we were like drinking a little bit at evening at his house there. That's where my wife is from. And he's like, although this is like, he spoke a little bit of English and I understand a little bit of Russian, so we kind of combine it.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is what bodybuilders drink. It was a beer with sour cream. Beer with sour cream. Yeah, so you have that sour cream with protein and fats mostly.
Yeah.
And a beer, just whatever calories in it. But I tried it and it was quite nice.
Yeah?
I liked it. Actually,
never heard that.
It was kind of funny, but I first was like, oh, you must be kidding. And then I was like, yeah, that's and I tried it and I was like, it's not bad actually.
I remember I found out first about that soy contains the protein. That would be something to get in, because at that moment whey proteins wasn't available. If there was extremely expensive, and for that amount my first protein was like, first I started with soy protein powder, was sold somewhere in some small shop with where was seasoning sold. So we used to drive there with the bus 35 kilometers, buy in a plastic bags, bring it back, mix it with the water or milk and try. I was standing at the sink chugging it down and waiting to puke, and my brother was standing next to me, hold it, and then we would flap and he would stand there and he's like, it's quite nice, tastes like the bread. I was like, now if somebody tells me, I got this protein really cheap, I was like, let me open it, I'm not gonna even read. I smell, I feel the soy. I'm like, there's a reason why it's cheap. Soy wouldn't absorb so well. It's a no-go.
I think even for vegans, vegetarians, the soy products that are promoted are high in protein. Experts are saying that they stimulate estrogen somehow.
Another one, yeah. It's obviously from one time, it's nothing gonna happen. You consider that you're gonna be on a regular basis, you've been using it. And
then they are also highly processed, and the extraction of these proteins also is not very clean. So, from what I read in the past, it's not recommended soy protein that much. Or
I just look at it as a no-go, really.
Like in general, soy itself, they don't recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are better options there.
And if somebody is like if someone is already a little bit with that extra tire around the belly, titties hanging, you've been always kind of with that extra weight, you want to get rid of it, forgot about beer, forgot about soy products. You have to look really into it. You have to tap into your cortisol, where it is, and check those. Obviously you will have to stay in caloric deficit, but you have to pay attention to those things. You not like, the more fat you have, the less testosterone you're gonna have, a more estrogen. It puts you in a bad position from the beginning. So
once you reach a certain level of body fat, so I think for guys it's like 20%, once you reach that 20%, it's harder to come back. To go down? To be leaner again. Yeah, it wouldn't be in one go probably. You have to get leaner, try to maintain it, again as much as you can leaner, again to maintain it, maybe again a little bit, again to go down. It takes few attempts until body gets used to that new weight and get there. Because sometimes people just going wrong. They think, I'm just gonna go all out and get fat, and then I'm just gonna change my life and get fit. I was like, you create more fat cells and they grow there, so there's space for them more. It's like the less you had them
from the beginning, the easier it's gonna be. So whoever is listening this, please don't let yourself go. Rather work hard on maintaining where you are. Just don't get fatter. It's so much easier to maintain than after to get it all off. Because sometimes, most of the time, people would undervalue and underestimate the amount of work would have to be put in. If you have to burn those 7,500 calories just to get that body on the paper, to get that 1 kg of fat burned, in real life it takes a lot of work. And then consume it, it takes you a week to gain it.
How much you say? 7,000?
7.5 around 1,000.
7,500 per kilo of body fat.
Yeah, that would be on the paper.
So if you think about having a hardcore spin class and you can really get realistically 700 calories, maybe 600-700 calories.
Yeah,
which
that's really good. Like that's 45-minute hard spin. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about only being in deficit and burning it off. So
yeah.
And
then it's like how much you're gonna hit per week. Those like you have to recover from those again, and yeah, it's a no-go. Absolutely.
And that's we're talking about 1 kilo.
Yeah.
1 kilo. 1 kilo.
Well,
that's like 10 strong trainings at least minimum, considering you're already in deficit.
Yeah.
So much easier it is just to maintain a healthy lifestyle and having some sort of discipline.
Oh yeah.
I always have that in winter. When I was 17, for example, I would observe how, thanks to overeating, not as active as I was in the summer or spring or autumn. Winter, usually playing more games as a teenager and, being indoors.
Yeah.
And also you have Christmas. And then after Christmas, I go look at my stomach like, what the,
Yeah.
And then I'm going straight into some kind of, panic
beast mode.
Beast mode, aka panic mode.
Panic mode more so. You're like, what is that?
Yeah, because I always wanted to look good for summer.
Yeah.
But not only for summer, but all the time to be in a good shape. Since I was, 15, 12. So my whole life I wanted to be in a good shape.
I just want to look sexy as fuck without a shirt, without clothes.
So, and that was always a drive. I knew that overeating has to stop. You have to clean up a little bit of, diet, and then starting to work hard in the gym. And that would motivate me, that extra chubbiness.
Yeah.
And I think it's even the winter itself. With winter, we tend to have a little bit more fat because it's cold. And I think maybe the body naturally
of course,
gets us into it. I was actually listening to something recently, and the guy, he is Huberman, I can't really remember his first name, and he is a professor at Stanford University. He was saying how it's actually a very interesting podcast, and I will listen to it a couple of times, and he said how even the husbands or partners of the pregnant woman, they, because of some pheromones, whatever is going from her,
heard that as well.
He is getting more fat because sort of like biologically he's expected to have sleepless nights. So he will need that extra energy.
I was talking about this literally a few days ago, explaining this to the client, saying about yesterday, I had with the Dave session and was telling him about having the kids and how their partners would tend to go get in worse shape. Obviously, you can stick to the routine and being disciplined. You're still gonna stay in shape, but it in general, for the general population, it would have that tendency, and it is there exactly like you said as well. And then I look back on the people who would be, it was like, it makes sense. You can see the similarities in that in those actions that would happen usually. It's absolutely
amazing how complex we are as humans and how we interact with our environment.
You wouldn't think like I didn't know about that like a year ago. I heard that. I'm sure it was from the same guy, probably.
Could have been, yeah. Well, it's good that now. I think that's why podcasts are getting more popular, because everybody have some sort of headphones or even Bluetooth headphones, and then when we commute, instead of just scrolling your Facebook or Instagram, as a lot of people do, you can just basically listen to something and maybe just ignore all these other people's business. Because it's a bit of a noise, really, a distraction, really, for many of us. And having something productive, at least, for me, I'm not really good at reading books.
I would fall asleep real quick. I can audio listen, but if I see the letters on one page and my brain goes somewhere and I'm like,
I literally go a paragraph, and before I finish a paragraph, I'm already daydreaming about something. I'm already thinking something.
Same.
It bores me, but I found that I learned the most personally, talking to someone and being explained things. But YouTube videos or any video education is second best, and the third one will be just audio for me.
Yeah.
And I really prefer that. So I think that's why it's getting more popular. It's convenient.
Yeah, and it's not like, okay, this is your educational video. Now here is your hour of a constant topic covered in science, you know, in a detail that you have to sit and listen and actually get it in to digest. Podcast would be more so and really
more casual, even
casual, yeah, conversation based. Obviously, maybe at some points, maybe not so deep diving, but make people aware of the topics and pay attention to something they heard. Oh, they was talking about the thing. Let me look deeper into it.
Yeah.
As much as putting out information, making them aware of something. It was like, I prefer shorter videos, something 15-20 minutes about the topic, and then I'm just like, hold on, and then I can't come back, because the long ones then I would need split them somehow. I might forget.
I always split. I put save on YouTube. I actually, if you can afford, buy YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
Because I think it's €13 a month. No advertisements. No wait 5 seconds to skip. Oh man. And you can download stuff for offline. Also, when you watch on your phone and you don't want the screen to go on, you just turn off the screen and it still plays.
Same as on the.
It's
same as on the.
It was the biggest game
on Spotify. Yeah.
Well, Spotify, it is like that, but it was just such a game changer for me because I watch so much YouTube, and like I'm the same. Like I start, let's say, podcast, and if I kind of like it, but then it starts to get boring, I just go to the next one.
Yeah, because sometimes I would flip through 3 of them and I was like, okay, today's music day, because my brain is not just willing to take in. I feel everything is boring. I can't stick to. I was like, I have to listen to this book. I'm like, words not getting into me. I'm like switching on the music. I was like, cool, good, just gonna wind myself away.
Information overload. So sometimes, we just get too much into. I think maybe it's a problem too. Sometimes just constantly seeking the either external stimulation, external distraction, but it gets tiring at some point when you realize like, whoa, I spent 5 hours in a day watching videos, and I like it. For me, it's
but how
like
much
TV.
You actually take away from it? You know what I mean? A lot of might be as a.
It depends.
Talking about stimulus and constant stimulation, and I wanted to say I'm about to do Sober October and cut out a lot of things.
Such as?
It's not so bad. Maybe the alcohol and herbs and maybe cut on caffeine, cut on a little bit of nicotine, and just take a step back, because I have tendency of falling into the overuse of whatever I take, and kind of addictive personality, or I just have like sometimes I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take it all, and a lot of, but there is a downfall of it, of course. Your body doesn't use it and doesn't react anymore on it like that.
So you need to kind of increase the dose eventually.
Yeah, but even that wouldn't be the thing. Like, how far are you gonna go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is always like, it's not a thing. So I wanna, like last year I did, and it would work pretty well. I realized it wasn't so bad. It just, I thought it's like, it's nothing, but then those few things, once you take away, more so as a, sometimes in life happens, it's like you don't go out, you don't get a drink, you don't get a smoke, you don't get this, you don't get that. It just happens. But once you make a decision not to do it, same as it's discipline, saying no to the things. So any kind of stimulus is anything, even take a step back from and try to get less social media, just digestion to detox kind of from social media. Even
a break.
I'm kind of really already. I'm very little on social media myself, having presence, because I stepped away. I just didn't
But you still
feel.
post, but it's
Yeah.
different between posting and observing what other people's doing.
Yeah, I used to put the live stories and talk about stuff, and people was asking why you don't do that. I like it about food stuff, and I'm like, I just don't feel like anymore. It takes me too much time, and if I don't feel myself, I'm tired. I don't feel communicating because it's kind of one-way communication almost, and then sometimes you get questions, but it's all. I was like, listen, I have to work. What to have to get done. So I'm not. I don't have a schedule where it's like. Sometimes I want to spend my time more with the kid and think about my stuff. So I'm not there at the moment. So I want to take a step even more back from it, and be more in the present moment and focus on the things what matters for me a bit more.
Yeah, I mean the social media, the pressure on evolving it and working on your business.
Yeah.
And then you're, buried in your phone and, trying to post something. Yeah, there's a pressure because your other option is paid advertisement.
Yeah.
So there's like, on one hand, you can pay 200-300 euro a month just for having your content advertised, and you can have maybe more out of it. But it's frustrating. I find, let's say, Instagram to build following very hard, very slow. I kind of give up, to be honest. I actually stopped caring about it. If I have...
Yeah, you can always buy buy a fake, just a number, but it's what you want out of it. That number doesn't mean anything.
And I actually heard something recently. I mean, I don't care if I have 50 followers or if I have 5,000 or 5 millions, because if you have a message to say, and imagine you do a seminar, and you'll be happy. I was happy to have 17 people in the Westwood Club when I was doing nutrition seminars, whatever seminars, weight loss seminars. I was happy to have 17 people and prepare for them.
Yeah.
And then imagine, when I do a podcast and I have, let's say, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 downloads.
Yeah.
So, that's bigger than it used to be. So, a lot of these people, some of them really care what you have to say.
Yeah.
Some people just curious, just check in. But when you think about the numbers, it's definitely more effective than being in one room. So is it worth it of your time? Well, I think you have to answer yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the goal really?
Yeah, because I noticed, let's say, once I go through that Instagram numbers, there would be a lot of those followers, some fake. I don't know what is that. Who is following you? I know so little real persons. I'm just like, once you look locations, I was like, okay, if business wise, like some of them is somewhere out, so I realized it's only from those few thousands. It's like 20 max 30% what would be your active and real persons. The rest
Loyal
of it is just volume kind of. Even by the stories you can see, let's say if you have few thousand people following you, and then once you see the story, you put your stories, you have few hundred views, and you have any type of post, you would have my post wouldn't have no really deep captures. I wouldn't write down a lot of information because I don't read it myself. Usually long posts, I react on the pictures. If it's in a picture, I like it, I double tap it. That's simple as that. I don't hate on that. People just like, I don't like this person.
Yeah, we don't have
simple as that.
time to read stuff. We like pictures. That's why pictures, people sometimes click like because they like pictures. They want
people
to
bring the value, but I wouldn't really go for someone's Instagram to sit down and read what they wrote down, all that 4 lines, and I'm like, thank you. That's personally me.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people putting a lot of effort, putting good content out, writing in. If that's in a slide form, something works. You have to simplify things as much as you can, and then somebody is more specified. They need more stuff, and that would gets them somehow traffic kind of through the Instagram to them more deeply as an expert in the field. So I'm more so lifestyle, enjoying it all. And you did some pictures. I'm usually posting your ones. Those are one of the best ones. Oto, by the way, great photographer.
Thank you.
And and then I'm always kind of getting prepared more or less for those photo shoots. Not always. Sometimes, let's say, last one was I was thinking I will get prepared for the photo shoot, and then he gave me a shout that in I forgot about it, and then in 3 days that this photo shoot, I'm like, I ain't gonna prepare much. You ain't gonna get much leaner or prepared in the 3 days. So I was going in shape what I was, but yeah, I'm trying to keep the shape more or less same throughout the year, so it wouldn't be different. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not in such shape to show something crazy, but like I'm kind of maintaining that healthy kind of fitness-ish look, at least, that I'm like, looks like that I might be working out, like, so it's some type of like aesthetic look.
Yeah. Well, mainly we wanna be in shape. We wanna feel good. We wanna feel strong, capable. Especially in my job, you know, if I need to do extra classes, I won't be able to do
you
it.
want to show as well benefits out of it. It was like, yeah, I live by this. Like, it's not
Walking
like
the talk.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, it's so much. Yeah, theory. Everyone can. A lot of clients asks me and complains. It was like, oh, why he's such a somebody was like looking on younger trainers. Like, okay, who's like, I see him as like crazy following, and it was like kind of a good trainer, but I would never go. I was like, why? It was like, I don't see him practicing it. So, and a lot of discussions about this. I was like, and it's true. Not all the guys who looks jacked means they knows about it.
Yeah.
Because mostly they like training and they pay attention to themselves. There is some probably golden line, as always, balance in between both sides. You have to have a chat with the person and see, it was like, are they actually interested to train yourself, and are they not really too much in themselves just to not they would rip you off, but like maybe them trainings is they're not that interested. They just like give basic and stuff.
I've seen that before. A trainer would just put someone on a treadmill to warm up, and he's scrolling his phone. You know, like kind of like I try to get as much attention to my clients, but yeah, we kind of sometimes when we see some people doing things we wouldn't like to be seen doing, you know, we kind of easily can go into judgment, but it's not easy to be perfect, I would say. You know, people are people. And to be honest, we can always criticize what we don't like about people, but again, customer decides where they put their money. And some people don't have high expectations of being around cool people around, so they sometimes you know, settle for less than perfect, less than optimal people around them, and in them it's normal. I've seen trainers who kind of obviously they don't give a shit about their clients. They're doing exercise, they're just like looking around and
bored. I've seen so a lot of
body language,
comes over
very
and it's like,
close body
I
language.
couldn't wait that session to be over.
You can see they might be after 15 years of being trainers, they're bored, they don't like it.
I think you have to change for yourself. You have to call yourself out on that bullshit, what you're doing. It was like, if you're bored, it was like, it's not the only thing what you do. Requalify, change something, look more into it. And if that client, you feel it's not for you, explain them it's not working out, you don't feel drive for it. I had a client like that, but it was more so the client was in for the wrong reasons, and I explained from the beginning. It was like all about the over consuming of Instagram, let's say, and all the content. I want to look like this, I want to look like that, and it was like person had a scoliosis and like a lot of issues with the joints, and they needed help rather than look. And they wasn't in no position to get there, and I just had to talk them through and say, it's like, unfortunately I will be not in any help of this, because it's out of my comfort zone to help you with this, but you should pay attention to these things alongside. We'll start to work with the diet before you get into the training, because like she never got for me a form from the doctor and anything. I was like, listen, it's bad.
Yes,
Fully back.
We are back. So question here, you've got recently some back injury, and I want to mention about you know, training with injuries, working around them a little bit. Could you kind of explain what would you do differently, and tell about that whole kind of business of training so hard you getting injuries? I've done it before. I've seen guys doing it before, you know, just overtraining, training too heavy. Your thoughts on it, please. Usually injuries occur on doing something too much and too fast, like in too short time period.
Whether obviously, or being in a fatigue state. So my case was, I was post-gyno surgery, so that's mean I wasn't able to train upper body, trained lower body, and I was afraid to lose all my strength, so jumped in straight away with 3 heavy leg sessions a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. From Thursday to Friday I had a really bad sleep, so was wrecked already, my recovery was low. Decided to go light, kind of was saying to myself to go light on Friday, and got some rain pre-workout in, and then that changed everything. I felt strong, everything went heavier than usually, smooth. Still was catching myself on the toes. I was like, well, that's weird, and ended up with going on the seated row because the leg extension as the last one was busy, and as well went heavier than probably should, and turning my head and lower back went like with the thunder. Lower back wasn't the issue. The issue was super tight hamstrings and glutes and hips from all of it, so lower back just got charged with overload because other things wasn't doing the stuff. So I learned my lesson once again. However, what changed from previous years, what I noticed, I didn't went to the physio, whereas I got before advice, you lie down, don't move too much and let it pass the pain away, so don't abuse that part, don't lift. And I think it's quite bullshit. I think you should recover actively, increase blood flow 100%. Obviously, if the movement is pain-free, don't you do yourself damage. But I started to do a little routines on the ground to move those muscle groups and work around them to increase the blood flow a little bit, stretch them out, and it actually helps big time. In 2 days I was back in the gym again, really lightly. Actually it was stretching way more because those quads, I tried to grow them somehow, and I was being lazy to stretch them, and yeah, they got too tight. They're strong but tight. They doesn't do the function anymore. Flexibility disappears, and it's a no-go. Like, you have to roll it out, you have to stretch it out. So I've been working on that, and that helps a lot. I feel I'm back almost in a week. I still, let's say, explosive movements and something would feel in that glute bit, but I did a leg session lighter yesterday. Hip thrusts, RDLs with the trap bar, and then it was fine. Yeah, no pain. Again, didn't load heavy, almost half weight. Not really, a little bit heavier than half weight, but some 60-70% maybe from what I would work, and that helps usually a lot of, like, yeah. Walking, any type of blood flow increase in the body will help you with the recovery big time. Obviously, don't jump, keep pushing weights because you're gonna lose something if you have to take time off. I took 2 days off, lying one, but yeah, I didn't do a lot of after. It was just more so I got spin class and I couldn't do that one actually. Did just the seated low steady state, and it all worked out throughout the week well. I didn't need no painkillers, anything, because the pain from the beginning was really crazy, couldn't move. Took painkiller,
but injuries in sort of a fitness instructor profession, I think even more so than with the personal trainers. If you do classes and you have to perform them, let's say if you are a body pump teacher, or if you are a spin instructor, okay, you can go lighter there, but you have to still do something. If you get injuries like knee, back, shoulder, I remember how many times I injured my elbow or shoulder, or back was hurt. You know, even from overstretching, my back was pretty tight. I was doing lots of classes, and even in body balance when I was teaching the yoga style exercises, I overstretched my back and eventually pulled it.
Ooh.
So my recommendation as well, if you have very tight lower back, try not to go for 100% stretch. You know, warm it up, stretch, activate the muscle, make sure the muscle is more supple first, so you can go like through stages. Like first stages, go comfortably, maybe 15 seconds later, pull a little bit further, maybe we can do it one more time, then reset again, try to move your back a little bit, and then try it again. So that way I think it's easier to not to cause yourself an injury.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes even with niggles and pains we still train, sometimes even very hard, which...
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You have to learn to listen to your body, what is niggle and what is pain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because those niggles might be, it's nothing. I don't think it's body. Like, I think we think we are really, people have that perception that they would be really aesthetically, how to say, balanced out. That both sides is the same, everything's function like a machine, like as we are human being, we have two arms. We have everything different lengths, it just looks similar enough, and everything's like left side is weaker than the right one. Throughout the years it's been strengthened more, so there's tightnesses in the body, so we're not straight. One shoulder is higher, one hip is lower, one feet is longer, every kind of, everyone is individual and everyone is a bit different. So have to listen to your body when you train and understand once it's pain and and everybody's pain tolerance would be different. And throughout the years, if you learn, there was like, for someone who something would be painful, me would be like, yeah,
normal state of affairs.
It's like, isn't that supposed to be like all the time like that? You're training, obviously you're moving some heavy weights, obviously there will be some type of sensation in the muscle.
Yeah.
So some people get really scared of that. I was like, oh no, it's something hurts.
I think difference is the chronic pain, and different is the acute sort of injury that you knew you did something hard, like something popped, like, ouch, my back. You could almost feel the snap, the sharp feeling in your back. Yeah, then you pulled something more severely than just waking up with a sore back because you were sleeping in a weird position or whatever.
Or you did deadlifts last night and now you're stiffer, and it's like, oh my god, back pain. It's like, no,
because the back is
stiffness.
tired.
Yeah, you was working it out.
Yeah, we worked it like any other muscle gets stiff and tired from doing, so the lower back gets. Sometimes, like for me, the lower back, it's been quite a long time, the issue.
Yeah.
And every time I start to do more squats, heavier squats or deadlifts, it just kind of gradually gets more painful.
Yeah.
I still don't pretend I know everything, and I always try to discuss with physiotherapists and massage therapists, and just give them get some information from them so I can learn. Because if I can understand my own back, I can understand my client's back more.
Yeah.
So yeah, the main thing, I don't pretend I know. If I try a few approaches on myself or even on clients, and if they don't work, I just say, look, try a proper physio.
Yeah.
And they might have more experience knowing how all
absolutely,
these mechanisms works. And usually, like, I got advice which is, keep strengthening your back, keep doing back extensions, which basically is the first exercise that gets me the most pain.
Yeah.
And it's likely that the muscle is tight, therefore it becomes weak. When I'm using the lower back and I'm trying to do back extensions, the weakness means that earlier it gets tired and painful.
Yeah, with the lower back, I would usually look into our hips and glutes doing them job, and what's the story with the core. Because that's the opposite side what holds you. Not always. It's like, I know it's like a standard, oh, your core is weak because opposite side doesn't core. Might be hips and glutes, because they're not holding your base where it is, and then next in a chain goes the lower back takes the load, and it just gets overloaded. It's not weak, it just
too much work.
Lower part does a job. Glutes is like too weak.
Maybe does too much job already.
Yeah, no, it's like, let's say for a lot of men would be like underactive glutes. Just they're not training it. They just like, oh, that's for girls. And something was like, well, yeah, you have back issues. It was like, you haven't, what you have done to strengthen those glutes? Nothing really. And then you're shying away from it, and then you, as you said, you squat and your back wouldn't go, your knees caves in, or your hip shifts to the side, and that you lean too much forward because your still glutes wouldn't be doing the job, and then you have to check maybe it's like calves tight, ankle mobility, quads tight, a lot of things was suss out. It's not, you can't make one call and it fits everyone.
Yeah, and I find that body's complicated in a way. And even if you ask 3 physios, they kind of give you different recipe, because
depending on them,
it's so complex.
Knowledge and experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, you first go to a doctor with injury. I've seen it before with clients that someone with a sore knee, limping literally. A lady that I trained, she was 65, and in her profession she was standing mostly in her job, and so her knee was really, really sore, and she was working in hospital at surgeries, so she was like assisting, and so she was in that environment where she could just ask, and she went to one specialist and gives him painkillers. Second one basically suggests a brace for the knee to support it, and third one kind of suggested physio, and then I started working with her, and we realized she had very tight quadriceps, she had very weak glutes as well, and weak and tight the whole area there. So we were working on a balancing exercise, single-legged exercise to build that strength in the leg, and then releasing tension from the quads by foam rolling and also stretching it. And within like 2 weeks she stopped limping, and another few weeks she was getting really, really good. Then she stopped exercising again. She kind of went for 2 months of just like, okay, I'm fine. Came back again, it came back.
Of course.
And then same story again. We start to stretch more, we start to foam roll it, massage it out, strengthening, and it was getting better again. So sometimes we have to have the threshold of doing enough to do the good work before we can just ease off as, okay, it's fine now. Before you can just take a break from.
And people are like that once it gets, because we're getting fixed by the pill sometimes, and it's like, oh yeah, that's easy, and it's like pain is away. It was like, doesn't fix any issue, it just takes the sensation away. And once you work out, you still have to pay, and it's like effort, and it comes slowly, and you're like, this is expensive. And it's like, okay, I'm getting better, I'm fine. And it's like, keep doing that at home than on yourself. I was like, but you most likely will not, because you're better now. And people are like that. Once you are a little bit better, you like just stop it. I was like, oh yeah, grand. Me, I'm the same. I have to literally stretch my forearms, my glute, my back, and my quads have to be rolled out and stretched, because getting too tight. I'm trying to bounce them at least twice a week, and they just doesn't do the job anymore. Then it's like, cool, I want progress with them somehow, so I have to do that. Sometimes we just have to, same way to plan the sessions, training sessions, same way we have to plan the shopping list, food preparation. So it's not just like, do one thing. It's just like complex habits we have per day. Our duties, like this has to be done. This is kind of, it would be great if it's done, and this can wait. So certain things, like having time for yourself to fit in a little bit of exercise, especially listen to your body. Priorities. Cook the foods that are nutritious for you, that doesn't cause you issues as well, and finding enough time to sleep, so not to get distracted by watching TV for too long, because then we're playing games, and then you don't sleep enough, and that all start to accumulate, all these habits, and can create how you feel basically, or where you're going with your life. Because like in career, you can basically progress, you can start something new, but if you're constantly too tired to do what you love to do, and you go like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm gonna watch TV. I'm too tired now, I will not go to the gym, I will not do the class. So you kind of like, I think the life force, the energy is super crucial to achieve things in your life and feel good, because if you're burned out, it's a habit of not backing up. You have that voice in your head. That's what I learned to build, especially. You build that with the training, not pulling out training, pushing through the sets. You rest, you push, you rest, you push, you rest, you push. Each rep, each set is this repetition, like this waves in the sea. It comes and then it goes. It comes and then it goes. So that is the same as you go in that ice bath or in that cold sea. There will be, I'm not calling it, like everybody calling that bitch voice in your head, but trying to create different scenarios. Whatever is wrong, too big wind in my ears, I might get an ear infection. I was like, it's too cold. It was like, I'm short in time. Whatever, just to don't do it. Once you learn to quiet it down and make things happen and get it done, straight after you're like, what was that? I was like, why? And you are doing that to yourself. He was like, what was that? I was like,
I think we should talk to a psychotherapist about this.
I was like, what was that? was like, why I was trying to pull myself out of this? This is so fun, like straight after.
And everybody goes through this voice in their head, going through, this is too much, I don't want to do this anymore. And yeah, we get uncomfortable, we get a little psychotic every so often and try to back off from things we wanted to do, you know, like you want to do something, but as you go into it, you talk yourself out of it. Sometimes I do it with hikes. I'm driving, I enjoy driving, and I come to the place, let's say Glendale, and it's like, oh, it's too many people here. I really enjoy the driving. I was so comfortable, and then I literally in 1 minute I turn around and I keep driving for another 2 hours because I just talk myself out of it. And I'm sure like everybody's unique and special and you know, unique in their own way. So I know how the procrastination happens. So sometimes we force ourselves to certain things, certain activities, but sometimes we really talk ourselves out of it. So I think it's just a practice of doing it small, get yourself into the right mood.
We like to overthink. Yeah.
Overanalyze.
Shut up and do it, yeah.
Yeah, just shut up and do it, yeah.
And especially if the things in the morning, let's say, same would be, I'm gonna go, for me would work only early hike until nobody's there, and I want to win that golden hour before sun rises, before anybody hits the road. I'm there already, but there's always some crazier person like you go there. It was like, damn, I thought it's 5 o'clock. I'm here first when there's someone else. I'm like, you're not alone.
He wants to be first.
Yeah, and then it is a matter of planning it, whether that day before and being ready in the morning, because in the morning not able to think too much. I am not. I just have to act. So I'll just press and go. And then everything just flows once you're halfway. It was like, okay, I'm already awake and I'm already there. If I start to think and get ready in the morning, I'll be big time late.
But you are self-driven, and when I had the podcast with Christina, she says like, if you want to start something new, just do it with someone. And then I was listening to it again, and I was like, it actually makes sense. That's why people hire personal trainers. Don't do it on your own. Get a company for your gym. Accountability. So a lot of clients, like I had someone who was like 74. He was still running his business, and his name is Michael. And he was doing like mostly upper body because he was going through both hips replacements, both knees replacements. So like I was training with him a couple of years, and like there was always either one hip was about to be replaced, then the other knee was about to be replaced, and the other knee to be replaced, and so we didn't really train the legs too much, you know, because he just didn't want to train it. So for half an hour we were doing upper body, very easy machine-based workout, and I was getting bored. I was feeling like if I'm not doing something more challenging, I'm not doing my job properly. So I was kind of questioning myself if I'm needed there, if I'm not just like using him for just like income. And I said like, oh Michael, do you know, I just feel like you don't even need me here, because it's just, you can do this on your own easily. And he said, although without you I wouldn't be here. So that's it.
He just like was like, I know I wouldn't be doing even bother to come. So for some people it is to have a coach, trainer, a company. If the money is not an issue, it's a good thing when people can afford it and commit to it, because we all know what we should be doing. So that I find in many ways as a trainers, we are the companies there. Big
to
time.
Supervise them, to give them some challenge, give them some progression. But some people just want to do, you know, the average, the moderate type of exercises and levels, but they just want to do it long term.
And if like you want to be, as I said to them, I'm always saying I'm going to push you to your edge. You tell me when it's too much. It was like, if it's too much, I'm like always, we didn't puke today, it's a good day. And it didn't happen to Danny last time. He did, but he ate something a bit too before the training, so didn't digest well. Sometimes happens when
you're giving him that sled, right?
I did him the sled, and he got sick before the sled though. He got trap bar deadlifts, so pulled the soul out of him. We went a little bit heavier, because those as well as like compound movement, obviously full body.
Bending, put pressure on the stomach.
But again, something would have to be done, and then it's like just sometimes there's all of those sessions not gonna be the same. You're not gonna feel the same. You're not gonna food digest the same, and yeah, you take them as they comes. And if we need to pull back, we're pulling back, and either or way was like if they're getting dizzy and something, I ain't gonna push them that they pass out. Sometimes they said it was like no, let's go there. I was like, cool, your call. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, you look a little bit green. I was like, no, it's good. I want to get this done today. I was like, fine. And they say fine. It was after. It's just like, yeah, I was getting sick, food was coming up, but like it was fine. I was just, and it goes with the time away. Sometimes when people start the gym, the intensity is too high, heart rate goes up, and you would get a side effect. Yeah, obviously.
It happens.
Yeah,
I've seen it before. Yeah, but yeah, very rarely though. It depends how you push the person, how they feel. I think usually when they overheat and like whatever it is, lack of fresh air and all the overheating and complex exercises to the heart rates, some people don't handle it well. Yeah, sometimes they would eat something too fatty, it wouldn't digest so well because the fat would slow down digestion, and that would come in. It was like, oh, I ate 2 hours before, but this all is still here and I feel it's heavy. I was like, yeah, should think about those foods, what you're having prior to training. After, fine, yeah, but before that, do you have any plans for today? Today I'm actually just gonna do another spin class. I do nice. A couple of covers today and tomorrow, so I'm actually supposed to have easy day. I was planning a hike. Eventually you came, so I cancelled my hike. And I actually prefer hiking in kind of more like colder weather. Well, when it's not too hot, when it's not too sunny and too hot, because I find it a little more comfortable when it's a bit cloudy and it's like, I don't know,
more dramatic look.
14 degrees rather than 20.
Oh yeah.
In Ireland, 20 degrees feels quite warm.
Yeah.
And like 14, 15 is a good temperature for hikes.
Yeah, if it's not too big wind, it's pretty comfortable.
But yeah, so I'm just looking forward to the next class, to the spin class, and you know, like, there's something cool about teaching classes. It gets me the adrenaline, it gets me the buzz. I like the feedback from people, and I like the music, I like the pump. Yeah. You know, like now we are indoors again, so the sound system is much more powerful. Yeah. You have this kind of dark spin studio at David Lloyd, and I just love it. And it's kind of like I challenge people, but I challenge myself as well. Yeah. You know, I know you going back to work soon.
I'm going back to PB Feedbox in the heart of Swords. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Ben Connolly, colleague of mine, brother of mine. Yeah, we both there. Small CrossFit based gym in the heart of Swords in Applewood, and we have really small facility, but we have really good community. We have classes up to 6, from 3 to 6 people at the same time, so I'm well able to look after them. And every day we have different workouts. So today we have lower body, one of my favorite ones. I'm banging out with them, and yeah, building that booty, glutes, legs. And tomorrow gonna be tomorrow I'm in town, so tomorrow there is a Fitbit, what is high intensity workout for 45-50 minutes. A lot of Tabata, a lot of chippers, a lot of different system based, like where you get through skier, you get through assault bike, you get through air runner, so a lot of like big calorie burning day on Wednesdays, and then Thursdays I'm getting upper body again, push pull in for them, and more kind of covering hypertrophy stuff to try to slow down those CrossFitters, because they've been used to work on time, so form would fall out of the window. A lot of time it's more so reps and time rather than form, so I'm trying to slow them down and make sure they moves well and use an actual muscle for the purpose to grow it a little bit, and then
to activate it properly, to target it
yeah,
properly.
and then it was like, oh, I didn't know I can lift so heavy. I didn't know it was like it's so sore next day. It was like, yeah, it's like different sorenesses. It was like, and then it was like, make sure they're getting proper nutrition to actually grow something in few months. Otherwise, you can get stuck in that routine. I'm sweating so much. Oh, good boss, I did 40 reps, 30 reps, 20 reps. Oh, I got so tired and I'm sweating and I'm breathing hard. I was like, yeah, you ain't gonna grow nowhere. Sometimes I see, well, depends, yeah.
You know how to motivate people. You're not going nowhere.
You're just not going nowhere. I know them. It's like, you ain't gonna no body. You're not gonna grow like really.
I know people say that to other people, trainers say that, but everybody does things for their own.
Oh yeah. No, what I mean is like there is certain energy systems when you use. There's certain rep ranges and weights. What stimulates? What's the fastest way to get there, and to get most out of it, knowing how much volume they put and work in a week. I'm trying to get them delivered that. It was like, okay, you will need to work on these and so much, so you can, rather than hitting 5 sessions just the high intensity stuff, to get yourself in some type of shape for now to work for the summer, you would have to grow something, some muscle tissue. So we try to slow it down, actually
Depends
work
on
through
the goals,
that.
really.
Yeah, and then maybe after New Year, programming might change once they grow something and decrease maybe calories. Every 6 to 8 weeks we have a block where we change the programming. Strength comes in, then hypertrophy I'm still keeping a little bit in, and yeah. And then Ben was more covering all the CrossFit stuff, but a lot of fun stuff there. We love community is really great. We have some around 70, maybe now way more people in our gym, but that's
really small community.
That's a really small gym. It's like your room, so double the size of your room.
So you kind of know all each other.
Yeah.
Listen, Andris, this is turning into 2 hours.
Yeah, but we're gonna wrap it up today.
And our video is gonna cut very soon, so I don't wanna just close before it happens.
Yeah.
So, Andris, where can our listeners and viewers find you on social media?
I'm obviously on Facebook. Name Saule Andris, or Saule Andris at PT. Again, not crazily active there. Probably my Facebook is connected to Instagram at ICHSAULE, and yeah,
that's Ich Saule.
Yeah, that's from German, would be
Ich means I.
Yeah. It
cool.
somehow got stuck there, so it is a little bit of. I was studying German in school. Yeah.
There you go.
And still, can check there always. Obviously, you can see here on the podcast. We will try maybe to throw in some information. And could look up for it. So any questions, shout out now. Give us a shout. Give Oto a shout. Maybe we can cover next time something about pictures, about photo shoots. As you're doing photo shoot prep. If anyone's interested, give Oto a shout, and we cover those topics next time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, cool.
Talk to you next time.
Indeed, enjoyed it. Thanks, man.